Welcome to the Perficient Voice Callbacks demo. Many contact center customers would like to eliminate a poor caller experience of having to wait on hold for a long period of time before being connected to an agent. Perficient has now added callbacks for voice as a feature to Twilio Flex. Callbacks provide callers the opportunity to be called at their current or alternate phone number when a Flex agent is available to take their call without losing their position in the queue. Flex supervisors can enable and customize callbacks to suit their contact center's needs using our admin console to customize EWT, estimated wait time, and queue depth configurations. Perficient's callback solution provides a callback administration panel, which allows supervisors to configure the following: default settings for callbacks, override one or more settings for a specific queue, enable or disable callbacks per queue, callbacks offered based on queue depth, estimated wait time, or a simple on and off. Callback offer repeat interval, the specific queue position when the callback is no longer offered, and the identification of a caller's current queue position. The first portion of our demo will be the administrative console, and then we will be demonstrating two examples using our mock contact center. The first will be using a simple configuration, and the second will be using the queue depth configuration.
I'll be running through the admin UI of the Voice Callbacks plugin. The UI consists of two sections: default configuration and the queue configuration. The default configuration allows you to set a default setting that will affect all queues unless configured otherwise. The queue configuration allows you to set callback settings at the queue level. If a queue is configured differently at the queue level, the queue callback setting will take priority over the default configuration setting. The default configuration and queue configuration have similar settings: enabled, callback type, offer repeats every, offer stops at queue position, and refresh call data every. Enabled. Enabled is a simple on-off switch. If in the on position, the callback feature is on, and the settings will be followed. In the off position, the callback feature is off. Callback type. There are three callback types: simple, EWT, which is estimated wait time, and queue depth. Simple is a basic setting where voice callbacks are simply on and do not require any additional steps to configure. The voice callbacks will simply just be offered to the customer. EWT, estimated wait time. This uses the estimated wait time as a trigger to offer voice callbacks. Upon selecting EWT, a marker will appear in the EWT setting where the admin will enter the threshold in seconds to enable callbacks. For example, if EWT is equal to 60 seconds, or 60, this means if the estimated wait time is 60 seconds, begin to offer voice callbacks to the customer. Lastly, queue depth. The queue depth setting will begin to offer voice callbacks if the minimum number of callers in a queue is met. Once again, selecting queue depth will mark the queue depth setting, and here a value will be placed. If the queue depth is set to 11, this means 11 is the minimum number of callers needed before callbacks is offered. Offer repeats every. When the callbacks are being offered, this setting is used to set how often customers will be offered the voice callback option. Currently, it can be set to 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 3 minutes. Offer stops at queue position. In this setting, use it to set the queue position to stop offering voice callbacks. So this is the maximum queue position where the offer should be made. That essentially wraps up the similar settings between default and configuration and queue configuration. There is one setting that is unique to default configuration that is not found in queue. This is the refresh call data every setting. This is the interval that the callback task data is refreshed for queues. It is one setting set in default configuration and affects all configurations in the queues level. It should be noted that when changing a setting, you must press the Save button to confirm. A green banner will appear to indicate a save has been made. In addition, a red banner will appear to indicate an error. Should you forget what each setting is, a tooltip icon is provided where you can hover and read tips. For further details, a quick help tooltip is provided with a detailed explanation.
We'll start the callbacks demo with a simple callback type enabled. This will mean that callbacks will always be offered as long as the caller does not go below the call offer threshold of queue position 5. What you cannot see right now is that there are already multiple callers waiting in the queue. For demo purposes, our current configuration is set up to offer a callback to the caller every 15 seconds. In a real scenario, customers can choose intervals of 1 to 3 minutes. Also note that the very first offer of a callback will take place after the first 15-second cycle. We're now going to place a call to the contact center, requesting a callback to my current number.
Thank you for calling. We will be with you shortly.
We're now going through our first 15-second hold cycle and then be offered a callback.
You are currently at position number 10 in the queue. Press 1 for a callback or please stay on the line for the next available agent.
Note that the queue position was identified, and now I'll press 1 for a callback.
You are currently calling from 14169927641. If you would like a callback at this number, press 1. If you would like a callback on an alternate number, please press 2. Thank you. A representative will call you back as soon as it's your turn in the queue. Goodbye.
So if you see in the agent console, as soon as the callback was accepted, a callback call was placed in the agent's queue. So we'll leave that as is right now, and we'll place another call to the contact center requesting a callback to an alternate number.
Thank you for calling. We will be with you shortly.
Again, we're on our 15-second hold cycle.
You are currently at position number 10 in the queue. Press 1 for a callback or please stay on the line for the next available agent. You are currently calling from 14169927641. If you would like a callback at this number, press 1. If you would like a callback on an alternate number, please press 2. Please enter a 10-digit alternate number to be called at. You entered 73486488072. If this is correct, press 1. If you would like to enter a different number, press 2. Thank you. A representative will call you back as soon as it's your turn in the queue. Goodbye.
Now, as you can see in the agent console, the additional callback to the alternate number is sitting in the queue waiting for the agent to accept it. So as with the previous 2 calls, the caller was offered a callback. However, we will now demonstrate that when a caller reaches queue position 5 or higher, they no longer get offered a callback. For demo purposes, I'll now have my colleague remove all of the other calls from the queue except for the previous 2 callbacks we've created and the ones that I'm currently on right now. So we'll make another call to the contact center and we will not be offered a callback.
Thank you for calling. We will be with you shortly.
We are now in our 15-second hold cycle. Now, as you noticed, we were not offered a callback and we were just going through a hold cycle until an agent is ready to accept the call. We'll now demo the queue depth callback type. As described earlier, with the queue depth callback type, a callback will not be offered until the queue contains at least a configured number of callers. In our case, we'll configure the queue depth to 10. So we'll go to the admin console, and for our queue, we'll change the callback type to queue depth and set the queue depth. Now we'll go back to the agent console. So my colleague has just created a small number of test callers for demo purposes, but not quite enough to have a callback offered. So we'll call back in and we will not be offered a callback because we haven't reached the queue depth of 10 yet.
Thank you for calling. shortly.
Now, after the 15-second hold cycle, we will not be offered a callback. As you can hear, no callback was offered. So now my colleague has just created more test callers so that our next call will go above the queue depth threshold of 10 and a callback will be offered.
Thank you for calling. We will be with you shortly.
Now, after the 15-second hold cycle, a callback will be offered.
You are currently at position number 18 in the queue. Press 1 for a callback or please stay on the line for the next available agent.
As you can hear, because the queue depth threshold has gone above 10, a callback was offered. Finally, the final callback type is the estimated wait time type. We will not demo this type at this time. However, it's important to note a caller will be offered a callback when the actual estimated wait time goes above the threshold configured in the Flex admin as described earlier. Although estimated wait time cannot be configured by Flex supervisors, it may be customized by developers to suit a customer's needs. And that's the end of the Perficient Callbacks demo. Thank you.